Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Woo! Good Tuesday morning and welcome to our little program. We call it Run It Back right here on FanDuel TV. My name is Michelle. This is Chandler Parsons. Lou Will.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. And Charania coming to us live from his castle. Guys, we obviously have a few more days until the finals officially kick off, but this topic will not die. The topic we're about to go into, the Chennedy Carter foul on Caitlin Clark over the weekend. It has lit up the entire industry. It's all anybody can talk about. It is debated everywhere. It's got people making fools of themselves on television. But that was the original foul. It was called a common, and then it was turned into a flagrant one. Lou, your initial reaction to the foul?
My initial reaction was it was a little hard, a little unnecessary. I thought it was a little outside of the realms of, your normal foul, just based on, that piece I had seen right there. And then once I started kind of getting into the social media part of it and, kind of doing some research and some other things, I realized this wasn't the first part of this interaction. I think it was a kind of a duel going on, and Carter and Carter kind of took it a little further than where it was before that. They were jawing back and forth. There was some trash talk. There was some competing going on, and then it went there. So my initial reaction was that was a lot. And then after that, after seeing Caitlin Clark mouthing off, after seeing Chennedy Clark mouthing off, I said, oh, this is regular basketball stuff, and probably just took it a tad too far.
Yeah, I think when we're looking at the foul is a normal foul. It's a basketball foul. It's a little cheap shot.
It feels a little from behind.
It's not like she's chucking her on a screen. Right. It's not like she's rolling to the basket. It's not like it's a box out. This is just a blatant, dirty foul. But when people are talking online about this is assault or this is, I'm like, they need to pump the brakes a little bit on that. This is just a dirty foul. And like Lou said, in the beginning of this play, Caitlin got into it with her. She kind of threw an elbow at her. She kind of tried to swim move her. So like this was a chippy game. And the WNBA is chippy. So this happens all the time. I think we're just now starting to talk about it for a bunch of other reasons. But it wasn't about the actual foul to me. It was about the intent behind the foul. It was about the bench celebrating the foul. It was that to me is the bigger story, not the actual act. Like, sure, is it a technical foul? Great. They upgraded it. Their coach came out and said she lost her mind in the moment, so she took action to that. But the foul, it's not assault. It's not like it's just a hard foul in the competitive nature of basketball. It's the intent behind it that I had a problem with.
I think some men are clutching their pearls because they're like, oh, women, they're so tough and physical and they're being mean to each other. Settle down. We don't need a bunch of dudes swooping in for the damsels in distress situation here. They've been professional athletes for a while now, but that's the last time it was about basketball, was that foul.
To all of the new WNBA fans, this is not the first hard foul that I've seen or experienced. This has been a part of the fabric of the WNBA since the beginning of the WNBA. You can take this back to Cheryl Swoops, Shamika Holesclaw, Tisha Pinachero, and all of these ladies, Candace Parkers, and all of these. Like, this is basketball. This is a competitive sport. I like where the game is going. With so much attention on women's basketball, I want that to be back centered on basketball.
Okay.
We're getting way off of the trail here with where the conversation is going surrounding this young lady and what she's been able to bring to the table as far as attention and media goes for the WNBA. This is the most the world has ever talked about the WNBA, and instead of us celebrating that, growing the game, being proud and being happy to be a part of it, it's turned into a very, very, very nasty thing. And so today I want to make the effort for us to be the trailblazers in getting this conversation back to basketball.
Whoa. You want us to be positive?
I would love for us. I would try.
By the way, the game before, didn't Angel Reese, a girl hit her and she got ejected from the game?
Absolutely.
The girl, I forgot her name, but we're just not talking about it because it's not Caitlin Clark as much. But I think there was a play on the previous game where Angel Reese literally got elbowed and they tossed the girl from the game. So this does happen all the time. Yeah. We're trying to make this seem like it's some sort of hate crime assault, which is not. It's just Caitlin Clark, and she has put a lot of eyes on the sport, which I think is a good thing. Like Lou said, we're still talking about it. There's the College Baseball World Series going on. The Oilers and the Dallas Stars are playing. There's all this stuff going on. we're still
No, Dallas
talking.
Stars got eliminated. You need to let it go.
I mean, the
They're done.
Stars and
They're
now
done.
the
They're
Florida,
gone.
the Panthers.
Yeah, there you go. You get one of your states.
My point is, we're still talking about the WNBA and this play. So what stance you take, whose side you're on, this is great because the recognition, the publicity that they're getting is fun, and it's creating attention, and this is what they deserve. They deserved this for years. The Trailblazers before, the Cheryl Swoops, the Candace Parkers, they've done this before. Now it's just Caitlin Clark is this new thing that shoots really far, and she's very talented. She's good. She's going to be a star. But she's so highly talented that she's put so much attraction. You can see her attendance is undeniable. When you go to her games, there was over 17,000 fans at her games every single game.
And they're not good.
The other games, there's 3,000, 5,000, 7,000. So it's undeniable the attention she is bringing. I just think with that comes some personal. This right here. Look at these other games. 76.
Well, that's kind of silly.
4,000. Almost 10,000.
Wow.
Tennis and Caitlin Clark's games, 17,000. So that alone.
But this is.
That should be great.
That's a good
That should be celebrated. That is
But
awesome
again,
for the WNBA.
let's try to reel the conversation back in. This is great for Caitlin Clark in the league, but attendance is up tremendously throughout the entirety of the league, not just Caitlin Clark games. The Atlanta Dream are sold out for the whole season.
But her games are double and triple the attendance.
For sure. I mean, the Indiana Fever weren't very.
I mean, they're
weren't very
2-9.
good. Yeah, so
not good.
so naturally, when you bring in someone that's of that stature, that's going to happen. You're going to have more eyes on the game. But I just want to keep it in perspective. The Las Vegas Aces are sold out for the season. They've been doing things that we're giving Caitlin Clark credit for, and nothing I'm going to say is going to be disrespectful to any of these young women. But the Las Vegas Aces, they were fined and they had to stop flying private because it was considered an unfair competitive advantage.
That was whack.
New York Liberty, the same thing. So some of these things have been happening. She's just the elephant in the room to be able to push it over the edge with the attention that comes with it. So some of the narratives and some of these things, I wanted to die down. Like, we should be thankful. We should be grateful for Caitlin Clark. Like, no, we're all pros. We're all trying to change this game. And a lot of these conversations have been had. Brittany Griner was literally getting harassed in the airport after her whole ordeal in Russia, right?
Yep.
That is a safety hazard. So you have to address them being so exposable to people outside of in these WNBA arenas, right? And so these conversations have been had. NBA players, I remember a moment in my career where we all got together and was talking about putting a pool of money to not give to them, but kind of help with them being able to have some of these perks of being professional basketball players. A lot of these conversations have been going on for years, but she's getting the credit for it. So I feel like some of the, in my opinion, I could be wrong, I feel like some of the frustration that's coming from the players with all the attention is a lot of the information being shared is inaccurate.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the frustration comes
I
in.
do think I'm a new WNBA guy. Obviously, I respect the Diana Taurasi's, the Candace Parkers. I am now just starting to watch WNBA because it is crazy what she does on the court. So that got me initially into it. You still have to respect the people that came before her.
Of course.
Those are the people, if I was them, I'd be more offended than the current players. Because now we're talking about, like, she's now just making the WNBA. She's doing all this, which she is fascinating. She gives me the same feeling of watching Steph Curry when I watch Caitlin Clark. At least in college. I've watched a couple of her games in WNBA. I know she's kind of been up and down. Her stats are solid, but she, that's been what's gotten me into the WNBA personally. Just seeing her shoot from deep, seeing her, these no-look dimes.
And you're there
it's fun
now.
to watch Caitlin Clark.
Which is, I think that's the whole point,
Which
right?
should be okay. It's also fun to watch this rivalry with her and Angel Reese. I love that. I think it's fun. I think it's great for the game. I think it's healthy to a certain point. Now, when you see these other things and these fouls and the celebrating cheap shots and stuff, then it feels like it's getting a little personal.
But there is and that's okay too, by the way. Like
Draymond Green hates Rudy Gobert and Nurkic.
Exactly.
That's fine. That's
Why
okay.
do we need them to
Angel
be-
Reese doesn't need to come out and say, I like
Caitlin
Clark.
This is competition.
I'd rather
I'm
Angel
okay
Reese
with
come
it.
out and say, I can't stand her. I am jealous.
She will one day.
I want some love. Cameron Brink needs more love. Like, let's talk about all these other women just as much as her. That's fine. But the fact that they just deny it and
resentment's a normal human nature.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
you know
okay.
what? You know what, Chandler? To your point, what you said was I'm new to the WNBA thing. What I would encourage you and a lot of people that's now interested and involved and they're invested in it, take an opportunity, kind of do your homework, do your research, and do a history lesson on what's been going on, because a lot of our opinions are coming in hot.
No, Lou. You know how this works. We come
Absolutely.
in here loud and obnoxious, like we've been doing it for years.
Yeah, but that's just a common fan, and that's where the conversation is getting muddy. It's so many people that could have cared less about women's basketball and women's sports in general the last year or two, but because of the eyes that Caitlin Clark has brought to the table, everybody has these opinions, and it's like, bro, you literally probably don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's okay to stop for a second and just enjoy the show before we have so much to say about a lot of these things. So, Chandler, I'm gonna help you. Asia Wilson is on the way to another MVP-like season.
Yep.
Connecticut Sun are the only undefeated team that's left.
Yep.
Alyssa Thomas is the head of that snake.
We're not talking about any of that.
She's averaging a double-double. So many different headlines. There's so many different things that we can talk about besides this one particular player. And again, that's another part of this conversation that's going crazy. There's so much history being made. There's so many milestones being marked. And we're only talking about one particular person. And we're not even talking about what she's doing on the court. We're talking about, oh, she's getting bullied or she's getting targeted and this and that. It's like, no, these are competitive things. Listen, was Chennedy Carter's foul a little much? Absolutely, it was a little much. Cool, you can say that. But when has one player's action resonated with the whole league? So that one foul, everybody's saying, well, everybody hates Caitlin Clark. It's like, no. That foul was a hard foul, but Caitlin Clark was talking too.
Yeah.
So this is a competitive thing, and let me give you a little background on Chennedy Carter. I'm an Atlanta Dream fan. I go to a lot of games. I'm a semi-season ticket holder when I can go and take my girls. In 2020, she was drafted by the Atlanta Dream. She also was suspended by the Atlanta Dream for actions like this.
Yep.
2022, she was waived by the Los Angeles Sparks for actions like this. Had an opportunity in 2023 to go to Turkey to get back right, and now she's back in the NBA and back in the WNBA, and she's killing it, might I add. This was a blip on the screen, but she has some history of being an aggressive basketball player. So with that being said, is that a targeted act on Caitlin Clark? Maybe in the moment of that game because they're going back and forth, but she didn't wake up wanting to harm Caitlin Clark. So I just want to put some of these things in context that the average fan or somebody that may not be aware of these things, let's put it in context about the people that we're talking about.
Yeah, and Chennedy Clark Draymond Green has a history, so when she has a history, right? She threatened to beat up a teammate, got suspended. Misconduct to the team in LA, got kicked off the team. So when she does things now, it's under the
spotlight.
It's under the spotlight more so, just like a Draymond Green did.
The irony is Draymond's calling for a player like Chennedy Clark to be on the Indian
Well,
team.
I do like that, and I don't know your take on this, but like if and she actually tweeted at me. She tweeted at me because I said, someone posted a clip of the video, and I said, like, damn, where's her teammates at? Because you see Aaliyah Boston kind of walk right by her. And so in my opinion, I'm like, okay. And then Chennedy tweeted at me, I'm cool with her teammates, so now what? And that doesn't mean you can't support your teammate, though. If Blake Griffin, who's my best friend, if he fouls the shit at Lou Will's my rook, best believe I'm talking shit, I'm pushing him, I'm getting attacked, because there is a understanding that we're at war right now in these 48 minutes, and that is my rookie and that is my teammate. So I'm supporting him no matter if I'm cool with the other guy that did it or not. After the game, we can chop it up, but during the game, I'm getting her back. So clearly, there's something else going on there because Boston just walks right by her, doesn't even help her up, dead ass. So maybe it's not just a W. Maybe there's their own issues. And when you make $30 million before you play a possession, when you have the national ads, there is this animosity, this natural jealousy. That is normal. Men go through it too. When I see free agents and I saw them get a bag, I'm thinking, damn, I want what he got. That's what I deserve.
Right, because everyone thinks they're the best.
So they think they're the best. Angel Reese thinks that she's the reason why the WNBA is put on.
And that's okay. And listen, it's okay to feel like that. But where the conversation is going, it's like, no, we shouldn't be. She can have everything she wants in the world, but it's okay for me to compete hard against her. She's competing hard. Chandler, you know who the league leader in Texas is in this early WNBA season already?
Tell me it's Caitlin Clark.
It's Caitlin Clark. She's the league leader in technical fouls already. Do you know what that says to me? She's doing a little chirping. Yeah. She's doing a little competing.
She's talking shit.
She's talking shit, and that's perfectly fine. So let's not exclude her from all of these conversations. Let these young women be pros And if they're gonna talk shit, if they're gonna push, they're gonna foul, it is great for the game. Let's enjoy it. Everybody relax, man.
There hasn't been another game, and we've talked about this now for 14 minutes.
No, and
We won't make
they don't
40,
play again until
but
Friday.
14 is good.
The
But
Fever
I'm
actually
saying
have a couple days off.
That is great for the league. That is great for the.
It's tremendous.
It's amazing. No, this
and,
is
and by the
good.
way, Caitlin Clark hadn't said a word.
No, that's the thing. You can't
She
put it on
hasn't said
her.
a word.
I mean, she's
Let's
not
let
playing.
these young
women-
She's not
basketball
crying
Yes,
about
let's
it.
player,
let these young
Yeah.
women compete and let's enjoy the
Let
show.
them chill. Shams, watching the games, talking about it, watching this industry handle it. It's the impact of both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, especially today. It has been what?
It's been absolutely massive. I think the impact of not just those two rookies, but I think like Lou and like Chandler said, honestly, I've loved just listening to your guys' discussion. I think the game should be celebrated, the competition should be celebrated, and yeah, the conversation does need to be about the positives as far as what's the competition we're seeing on the court and what we're seeing around the WNBA itself. We haven't seen this type of growth ever, I think, in the game when you're thinking about these two rookie players and the impact that they've had, both of them, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I reached out to Fanatics. They handle all merchandising for the WNBA. They told me the league-wide merch, not just merch for those two players or a couple teams, league-wide merchandising sales are up 500% from last season. That's a growth they've never experienced. 500% growth in league merchandising. And then when you think about the individual players, yes, Caitlin Clark, #1 among all WNBA players, not just rookies. Angel Reese, #2, not just for rookies, all WNBA players. Indiana Fever, #1 in terms of merchandising sales. And a team that Lou just brought up, the Las Vegas Aces, they're #2 in terms of merchandising sales. The growth that they've had over the last few years, they've shown themselves to be a winning team. We know about Asia Wilson. We know about Kelsey Plum. They've got a bunch of amazing women. When you think about the level that they've brought the game to under Becky Hammond, we've seen them win at such a great rate. And then the Sparks and Sky also in the top 5 of merchandising sales. So to me, it's the growth of the game, the business, and Caitlin Clark. It is something to say about her that she was a megastar before she ever stepped foot on the pro level. She signed contracts of $30 million plus in terms of off the court deals. She got her own signature shoe before she ever stepped foot on the court. That's a kudos to her. That's a kudos to what she's built, the name she's built, the brand she's built, the game she showed at Iowa and in college. So we've never seen anything like this from two WNBA rookies, not just one WNBA rookie. I'm talking both rookies that we're seeing that have taken the league by storm, and the growth we've seen from the game should be celebrated and discussed, and the competition should be discussed, not just. I mean, these are fun elements to talk about, I guess, but the growth of the game also needs to be highlighted.
You know what Shams just reminded me of? You remember when LeBron got drafted and he had his $90 million Nike contract before he played a game, and he had all of these things going on. His own teammates were like, we're not going to build around an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Remember Darius Miles?
Remember Darius Miles?
Yeah,
talking about it.
so what you said about there can be, it's human nature to have some jealousy, some feelings towards these type of things when so much is given to a person before you feel like it's proven and earned. It's okay.
It's a
okay.
resentment more
But
than
as
anything.
long as we keep this in the parameters of being competitive, allow them the space and the growth and the opportunity to compete at this level. I'm glad there's some ladies that's pissed off because that makes the games better. That makes the competition better. Everybody that's watching, instead of looking for the controversy, actually sit down and just watch the game. And check out how physical the WNBA is. It's a lot of very talented basketball players in the WNBA. They thought that Caitlin Clark was gonna come in and dominate these ladies.
Yeah, no.
To their credit, they had something to say. Like, no, you're not gonna dominate me. I'm a 10-year veteran. I got something to say about that. You think Larry and Magic were jealous and hated Michael Jordan? There probably was a smidge, but they probably felt like we're at the top of the mountain. So for y'all to say that this young guy is gonna come in and dominate us, we have an opinion about that, and we're gonna show it on the court. 95% of these actions are basketball plays and it's happening in a competitive spirit, and we're getting away from that because we're semi. I don't want to use the word coddle because she's a grown woman, but
Feels like a little bit though.
yeah,
Like she doesn't need us to defend.
She doesn't need it.
Like that's bottom line.
If anything,
What do you think her teammates?
She may need her teammates to have her back a little bit, and they get on the same page and say, "Yo, we're not going for this. Y'all not going to push us around." But bullying is not the word.
No, please do not use the word.
Bullying is not the word.
It's not assault. It's not brother. It's not
targeted. Is not the word.
If that happens though, next game I'd love to see Aaliyah Boston set a hard screen.
Here's the deal.
Like, and then talk shit. You know what I mean? Like,
we're not
but
going
what
for
if her
if
teammates don't feel like that?
If they want to win at a high level too, they're going to need Caitlin Clark, right? So you can't have her just taking these shots. You have to protect her. Is all I'm saying. That's her teammate. You know, we don't feel bad. We're not babying her. She's not getting bullied. She talks just as much shit, if not more. She's getting text, so she's bringing
leader in text. She got a lot to say.
She's bringing a lot of this on herself on the court with the way she talks shit and her arrogance. So I understand that that's probably obnoxious. Then you're nauseated by her $30 million in her State Farm ads and all this stuff. That adds up. That is human nature to be jealous. What's interesting to me is it doesn't happen on the men's side. There's no jealousy over Wemby. He gets talked, he gets hyped. We don't see that. You don't see him taking shots.
Can you imagine some of those unicorn-like plays that Wemby makes? He's turning and staring at guys, bumping, pushing a little bit, and
we're
you're
calling
losing.
Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan. No one's fouling him hard. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is, I would rather than praise that. I'd rather than promote that and
exactly.
stick together with that instead of going the other way.
Yeah.
With
So listen, let's refocus the lens here. Let's refocus the lens. Let's celebrate these ladies, and let's be excited that they're even competing this hard and they have our attention. They have the world's attention. Let's focus back on hooping.
Yeah.
And not everyone, like, we're all different, right? We all handle the way we feel, our resentment, our jealousy. It's all different. So it's like, it's weird that we're painting an entire league with one brush. And the Angel Reese of it all is a big part as well. And she obviously was seen cheering the hard foul, and then since then has also come out and said some more. So here's Angel.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Chennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Love that.
And so here's where the resentment comes in, right? Because I saw this video last night, and immediately the comments were like, she's delusional. No one's coming for Angel Reese. It's all about one person. And then you realize this is just a big, ugly monster, and it's just a part of sort of having a talent like this be a focal point.
And personally, I guarantee you Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are fine personally. The media and the narrative that they've built around her in this way, that she's untouchable and how she's this superstar, I think that naturally sinks into her head, and that causes this animosity, this jealousy, whatever the word you want to use.
By the way,
that causes the hate towards that. I'm saying it's not. I don't think it's anything that she said.
What if
or
they
did
don't like
off
each
the
other? Who
court.
cares?
And if they do, fine. Like I said, it's okay on the men's side. Draymond Green can hate.
You don't like
Draymond
everybody?
Green can hate Rudy Gobert.
Listen,
Why can't they just hate each other?
She just
They
said
can.
it. She's okay with being there's a role for everybody. She's saying, I'm going to wear the villain hat, and I'll wear it proudly. Like, Draymond wears the villain hat. Pat Bev wears the villain hat. Bobby Portis wears the villain hat. But Bobby is very likable.
I was going to say, but he's like very nice.
Bobby is very likable.
Yeah, friend of the show.
But those are guys that wear that hat proudly, and that's what they bring to the table. That's the entertainment part of what we do. That's the WWE part of what we do. They are creating their own storylines. So it's okay for her to say, y'all want to make me to be the bad guy? I can't wait to be the bad guy. And that's okay. When she come out, boo her. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
She's okay with that. It doesn't have to be a personal thing. Accept these people for who they are inside the lines when they compete. That's who their characters are.
And I do.
This is who she is.
And I do. They're not showing any remorse. They're liking tweets.
love it.
Hell yeah.
That's
I love
okay.
it.
That is part
Chennedy
of the
Carter
game.
said, I'm standing on business. I said what I said. I did what I did.
She said the only
I'm not
thing
tripping.
Caitlin Clark does is just shoot threes, which was I
She
think that's
tripping
where
on
she
that.
lost me. She lost me on that. But
But that's, you know what, Chandler? That is a basketball opinion, and we can look at this camera and say, Chennedy Clark, you lost your goddamn
You're tripping. The basketball game, Caitlin
like
Clark.
that lady can play. Like,
Yeah, she can
Caitlin
hoop.
Clark can absolutely play.
But my point is her going on social media and liking the tweets
Chennedy
and
Carter,
clapping
yeah.
back. That's okay. That is healthy. That is good. As long
healthy.
as it stays, as long as he's not like taking her legs out and trying to hurt her on the basketball court. That is perfectly healthy, good. competitive spirit of the game. That is okay. It happens in our league. Let it happen in their league. It doesn't have to be different because they're girls.
How much? Well, so that's part of my question. I'm wondering how many people, and we know how many.
Bro.
Yeah, women.
Young ladies and women.
Women.
It started up yesterday with the girls thing, and I respect it. So we gonna respect
It's like. Well, so here's the thing. So many people, admittedly, are watching WNBA for the very, very first time. Maybe this is the first time they've watched women play professional sports, period. And I'm wondering how much of this sort of vibe, this weird need to defend Caitlin Clark's honor, is because people aren't used to watching women compete the way they compete in the WNBA. It's not your fault if you're brand new to it. I'm new to it, admittedly. But I also know that women compete just as hard as anyone, and so I'm not shocked by anything that's happened this week. I'm more surprised by the reaction of people that, God, they play so hard. They're beating each other up. They're so mean.
That's what's more offensive.
That I think is shocking.
Right. Listen, it's going to take some getting used to. So for all the new fans, welcome to the party. It gets a little physical from time to time. It is a competitive game. It's basketball. Relax. Everybody's going to be okay. And you know what this is going to do that I love out of everything? It's going to, like Shams just alluded to, it's going to drive revenue up tremendously. And that's what we've always cared about and complained about as allies of these young women in the WNBA. We want them to make as much money as they can, support their families in the best fashion they can. And I feel like with all of this attention, that's helping. So it's healthy, it helps, and I'm glad it's happening. You know, sometimes it got to get ugly to get better. Right now, it's a little ugly, but I think it gets better from here.
And also, I'm happy for all the women and men. There are a few men that have been covering the sport for a while. Not many, but a lot of women who now finally are like, I told y'all. I told y'all this was fun.
I'll tell you this, regardless, June 16th, Sunday, 9 a.m., they play again. And no matter what stance, whose side you're on, you're going to be tuning in.
Is it at Indiana? Or is it at...
It is.
Woo!
That's part of it.
That's fun. That is awesome.
Let's fly out. Let's go.
I swear to God, I will get
PJ? No, wait, they're too small. Okay, it's time.
Let's say, Beadle, you're on your own with that.
I can't do that. Lou and me on a tiny plane? No. It's Scoops time.
It would not be a tiny plane, Michelle. Okay,
thanks for your patience,
Okay,
Shams.
settle
Don't
down.
offend me.
Is it bigger
Super
than a
pro.
767? No.
I love the discussion. I'm proud of the discussion.
Sorry, Shams.
We had.
We're all going to the Fever game, though, on June 16th, and Chandler's paying for it. So you will get an email and be ready for that.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Really just
I'm coming. Chandler's supplying my travel. Let's do it.
I feel like it's time Chandler does something nice for us. The biggest question, and it will continue to be until these damn finals actually start, Kristaps Porzingis. What's he doing right now? Is he ready to go?
I can tell you that. It's
Michelle,
10:30
Monday,
in Boston. They're practicing.
He's practicing.
They're getting ready for practice.
Perfect.
They're about to practice right now. Monday, Michelle, was a very, very critical day for Kristaps Porzingis and the Celtics. He completed a second scrimmage, 5-on-5 scrimmage, second scrimmage in 3 days. He completed. It was a success. He came out well. I'm told he is expected to make his return from this calf injury in Game 1 of the finals on Thursday night, barring any setback. That puts him about 5.5 weeks since the injury that he went down with in late April, and he's been rehabbing it, and he's been chomping at the bit to play. Obviously, anytime with a calf, you're going to have to make sure you're really right before you make a return. Go through a bunch of testing, but we've seen him. We've seen these videos of him ramping up, doing more and more, and I think these last few days where he's able to play in these scrimmages, that's bode well for him, and he's come out well from it, and barring any setback, the Celtics are preparing for him to be back in the lineup. They're not sure exactly, I'm told, how much he'll play, how many minutes he'll be able to play. But listen, you have to get out there. You have to play to condition yourself and get right. So when it matters most as the series goes on. But they are preparing for him to be back in the lineup in Game 1.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be so good. I can't. 2 more sleeps. We have 2 more sleeps until the finals.
I will say, if he's scrimmaging, playing 5-on-5, he's close. Like he is in there. It's no longer 5-on-0. It's no longer 1-on-1. Like I expect him, after hearing that, he should be.
Like, who wants to be the guy to tell him no? Like, yeah, sorry.
Also, like you have a whole offseason coming up or something.
Exactly.
Like, he's playing.
He's playing. The other thing is the Pelicans deferring the Lakers' first-round pick from the AD trade. They're going to do that to 2025. So they keep the number 17 in this year's draft. Shams, talk to me about that.
This gives the Lakers 3 first-round draft picks to trade on draft night. That's the most important part of this situation. This has been expected for the last really few months. That's why anytime we've talked about the Lakers on this show, we've talked about the fact that they have 3 first-round picks on draft night. Number 17 this year, they have the 2029 first, the 2031 first. Plus, they have 5 first-round pick swaps that they can put in trades. We'll see which player they're going to target coming up over the next month, right? Draft is approaching, the 2-day draft, the 26th and 27th. We'll know more on that soon. But for the other side, the flip side for the Pelicans, to me, they also have made it clear. David Griffin came out publicly. He said, we're going to be aggressive. We're trying to make additions this offseason. They have 8 first-round picks to trade on draft night. They have a boatload of swaps they can trade. Both teams, I think, will be in the market to make a major move.
These two teams.
We don't know what it'll be, but they are in position. Both teams are.
Are the Lakers looking at anyone in particular?
Shut up, Chandler.
Listen, 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Breaking news, Bronny James is now a first-round pick. Or
1,000%.
LeBron James is going to play somewhere else.
Yeah, and it sounds like New Orleans with them 8 picks. Sounds like that.
By the way, this is just behind the scenes, just Chandler writing Bronny real big on a piece of paper.
What?
These two, this is what's happening.
It's not rocket science.
Shams,
I mean, you got to use that 17th pick for trade. I don't know if you're just going to be like, yeah, we're going to draft Bronny, but
That's a good
listen,
pick.
Bronny's going to work out.
17th pick
We've said it. 2 teams, Phoenix,
Yeah,
Lakers. We'll
that's
see if
it.
any
It's
other
not
teams
bad. Is this
get
draft?
worked out.
How
Phoenix is the number 22 pick.
How bad is this draft? They're deferring the 17th pick.
not good.
17th pick, that should be like a contributor
That's how bad the
right
draft
away.
is.
That's a great pick. That just got P.J. Washington. That's Daniel Gafford. One first round pick.
But they don't see that in this draft. And it is what it is. Shams, love you, mean it. We will see you bright and early mañana. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by Isaiah Joe.
That boy good.
Run it up, the running back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.
Isaiah Joe is on fire from downtown. Ridiculous.
I'ma take my shackles, I'ma get the job done.
Some rude moments in that video right there, Isaiah Joe, the man with 2 first names. Welcome. Thanks for getting up early. That's just my... Shut up.
I liked it.
Here
It
we
was
go.
funny.
We love a good...
That was good.
So your nickname, we just have to get it out of the way. I don't know why I have to ask it, but Stroking Joe, where does that come from? Shut up, Chandler.
Just stuff like that just comes from the fans, man. They always have ideas and they just throw them out there, and sometimes they stick. I know for a good chunk of time, it was a Cup of Joe. So
Oh, I like
they
Cup
just
of
throw things out there periodically and it sticks. So I roll with it.
It's cool. It's cool, Isaiah. I'm named after a chicken wing, bro. So it happens.
Lemon pepper
So
Lou.
conflicted, though, in fairness.
Stroking Joe.
It's
It
all
be
good.
like that
Works
sometimes.
on
a good
the court,
nickname.
off the court.
Joe's good to do a lot with.
It took me a while to get used to it, but I'm digging it now.
Yeah, you used to hate
It
it,
took me
right?
like 3
I mean,
years.
yours is legendary. Yours is.
Well, come on. It's his interview.
is,
Go ahead,
it
go
is,
ahead. Come
though.
on.
Yeah.
See? Everybody thinks that, yeah, yours is actually good. And he didn't like it once, so keep that in mind if you ever
I
get
just
a
don't know
nickname.
what
Until I
man's gonna
bought
be
it, you should
calling
buy all your
Stroking
nicknames.
Joe.
Buy all your nicknames. Trademark them, everything.
How many have you
Trademark all
had?
them
So Cup of Joe, Stroking Joe, what else?
I've had G.I. Joe.
Every Joe imaginable.
Yeah,
Joe
I mean, I'm
Schmo,
pretty sure
maybe?
there's a lot.
You got a Joe Smo
said
in there?
what?
Oh, is rude.
Joe Schmo.
That is kind of rude.
That's
eh?
rude.
So
Don't
is
let
a Cup of Joe. You're
what
not
was that
Cup of
one?
Joe. You're the Stroking
think,
Joe. I think stands.
Yes, yeah, I think Cup of Joe is the one I've heard the most.
It's just fun to say.
And then here recently was Stroking Joe.
Stroking Joe.
But there's probably a lot more out there that I haven't even heard of yet.
Yeah, some you might not want to. I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
Exactly. Know what I mean?
It happens to everyone. All right, we've got to talk about the Thunder season, obviously. Did not end the way y'all hoped. It was a hell of a run, though, and it was fun to watch. But let me ask you this. Mavs going on to beat the Wolves and now playing the finals. As a player, does that help a little bit to ease the pain?
Yes.
No. What Lou said, I mean, yeah, because, you get beat by a team, and now that they're making it all the way, it's like, okay, that really should have been us. But, now that they're there, it's like they deserve to be there, and they were better than the next man up. And so it is a little bit easier for sure.
I mean, we've talked so much about y'all's team and how it just seems like you guys are ahead of schedule even for a team that we've been waiting. Just, wow, greatness. Do you think you guys are championship built? Is there anything that you would change?
I think after going through the playoff series this year, I think coming up next season that we will be a championship built, because we just had a whole team of unexperienced guys in the postseason. So now that we have the experience, you can't really beat that. I think everybody's gonna, have a chip on their shoulder going into the next season, because you don't want to lose. And I think that that left a sore spot. So going into next season, I think we'll be much better built.
Yeah, Isaiah, you guys are so much fun to watch this season with just the youth, the way you guys play. Is this the most fun you've ever had personally playing basketball? I know it didn't end the way you want. I know you want to still be playing now, but with the landscape of your team, the future, it looks like that's where it's trending. How much fun has it been playing on the Thunder?
And it's been amazing, especially to have a young group of guys that are just so professional. No matter, what's going down. We kind of operate like an AAU team at times. I mean, it's just we're all so free. We're all having fun at all times. When we win, we bark and stuff. We started that this year, so that was pretty cool. But I think when the season is so long, especially with a young team, just finding ways to have fun and staying engaged kind of helped us. So it's definitely been a joy.
Yeah. Now tell us about this, because I love this. The post-game interview, it's never just one guy, it's the whole squad. You guys are mobbing and the barking. Like, who came up with this? How did this come about?
Yeah, that started with the Williams boys, the two Jalen Williams on the team. They started that, and it got the roof going. Who would ever thought that barking would have been, part of our mentality and part of who we were. So we'd be having the whole arena barking now. And it's funny, but now they play the Who Let the Dogs Out at time to time. So
Baja Man.
Yeah. Throwback. Nice.
Zay, I was teammates with SGA when he was a rookie coming into the league, and it broke my heart when he got traded because we had put so much work in together. But I want to ask you, what's it like playing with him? Because I was with him as a rookie. Now he's a young vet. What is it like for him to be a leader now? Because that wasn't his position when he was with us. When he was with us, he was one of the guys, one of the troops. He was like, he was going to follow our lead. But now it seems like you guys are following his lead. What is that like to play with SGA in that way?
Man, he carries himself in such a way that you can just learn so much from him. I mean, you can tell, where he's been and where he's trying to go. I think what amazed me the most is just watching him day in and day out do what he does. People don't operate like that anymore. People don't go out there and hoop like he does at his size, doing the things that he does. So he's unstoppable, and to know that like every time he shoots the ball, like it's going in. He expanded his game. He shoots threes now. Even in the playoff series, he was putting up numbers, wasn't even taking any layups, like all mid-range. Like he just knows how to get to it. I think that's just something that I take pride in watching him do. Just get to it, get to the bag.
There was a Jalen Williams mic'd up game, and the mic caught you two talking about SGA and how bad of a passer and a lob he throws. Well, I mean, what is it about him that's just so awful?
He is paid to put the ball in the hole, and that's what he does.
Stay in his lane.
Do what you're supposed to do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, do what you're supposed to do. The style, I almost cussed. Uh-oh, Isaiah Chandler's getting to me. The style stuff, his pregame outfits. I mean, he pulls them. There's the one. That's the one that comes to mind immediately.
You know how sweaty I would be in that thing?
I don't even want to think about it. But what do you guys give him a hard time? Do you love the style?
I mean, we know it's who he is, and the audience that he's trying to attract and doing so, it works. It works for him. He puts some fits together that I really like. He puts some together that I could really care less for. But it's him. I feel like if he came to the game in a Nike Tech jumpsuit, I'd be like, "What's going on? What's the problem? Do we need to talk?"
That's a great point.
You know what I mean? So that's who he is, and hopefully he keeps it up.
Speaking of style, your boy Chet got cooked on the team plane for rocking a do-rag and talking about getting cornrows.
Oh dear! Oh God!
Well, this wasn't real, right? He was playing.
That's real.
This was dead ass.
What do you mean it's not real?
No, that's real.
He's one of the guys, man. This is who he is. I think after that, though, he's like, man, I don't know if I'm ever gonna wear a do-rag again. He's like, man, they're on my head right now. But yeah, Chet's one of us, man. He got free range.
That's a look.
Like they said about Larry Bird, he's not the white, Larry's clear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of characters in that locker room. You mentioned it's kind of like an AAU team feel. Who's the funniest guy on this team?
Oh, shoot.
That's tough.
That is tough because we got a lot of characters. Low-key funny guy on the team. Aaron Wiggins probably probably one of the funniest in my
Wiggins,
eyes.
the top
Yeah,
row.
yeah.
Was
one
it?
coming.
All right, fair enough. See, that's why you
like
got to
it.
ask the questions. It's over now. We've all lived through it. We can try to start to process the pain. How much did everyone hate? Wanna pro once, wanna pro me? It's like over and over.
They just
and over
played
again.
it too much.
Too much, right?
They did. They played it every chance that they got. I think they did that, on purpose. But honestly, I commend them guys for going up there and singing in a commercial. Like, if I know I can't sing and I go up there and I'm singing like that, I got confidence in myself. So they did that. They got paid to do it. So
They did.
But they did play it every time. Commercial break was happening.
Oh.
You heard that one.
Every single one. Who loves to sing? You probably love that commercial.
Yeah, I got caught singing today. Isaiah, a few years ago, yeah, it's early out here. I was trying to get my energy going, but a few years ago, you were waived by the Sixers, but you've thrived in OKC. Were you upset to not be a part of that process anymore? And what's clicked for you in OKC? What's different? Obviously, the league is about opportunities and scenarios and fit. What's happened for you in OKC that's made it work for you?
Yeah, man. When all that happened, man, I just I saw it as a new opportunity. So I got here, went on full force, got acclimated with the guys. I think what helped me the most is just the confidence that I had in myself, but also the confidence that the guys had in me. They didn't send me to the G League right away when I got there. They gave me a shot on the court. So, obviously having the opportunity to be out there, building that chemistry with the guys. And ever since, my first game, just kind of hit the road running. Had that, breakout game against Dallas. And then, just kept it up from there. But, just like I said, the confidence that the organization had in me, that took it a long way.
Isaiah, we have a segment on the show called That Man Has a Family, and what you did to Jeff Green earlier this year was highly offensive, and it was probably the dunk of the year. Have you checked in on him? Have you talked to him?
Buddy.
Because, by the way, he came on the show, too, and we went over some of his posters, and for whatever reason, when you go with the left hand, it just looks way cooler.
Just me.
But
This ain't cool to do this to an old man. Don't do this to the OG. That's
You took
Uncle
out
Jeff.
one of the oldest guys in the league. Why would you do this to this man?
Oh, no.
See, on the court, I'm not gonna lie. On the court, there's no age number. It's just
Clearly.
you're soldiers and they're soldiers. But man, Uncle Jeff, man, I've looked up to guys like him, all my life. He probably should, just stepped out the way right there. But in his defense, the last thing he's probably thinking is that I'm gonna go up and dunk this ball. So, and I got down there, I'm like, okay, this is the only way this is gonna happen. So.
You still got a bandage on your left pinky from that dunk, I bet.
No, man, this is actually something that I've had since last season, like last April.
Wow.
What is it?
Yeah, it's just like a really bad jam finger, and if I don't have the brace on.
Welcome to the NBA.
Yeah.
Everybody leaves with something. Everybody leaves with a gift.
Everybody leaves.
When
with
free
something,
agency comes and they say you're just a shooter, just keep rolling that clip of you putting your nuts on Jeff Green's head, because that's going to help you get your bag.
We couldn't get through one show, Isaiah. We tried. Man, we appreciate you getting up early. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good luck, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Have a
Ready
good
off
blast.
season. We'll be back. What? Why?
They run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back,
A little bit of you buying that coming up here. Knicks guard Josh Hart said Derek White is more impactful, underline it, than Jason Tatum. He says that White impacts almost every winning play on both sides of the court for the Celtics. So he got a little bit of heat for that because we don't listen. You buying that he's just as impactful?
No, because I think if you take Jason Tatum off the Celtics, they're not nearly as good as if you were to take Derek White off. They still would win games, but no. I think Derek White, I've said all year long, he is the best role player. He's a great two-way player. The amount of shots that he blocks at his position, his size, is unbelievable. When you're talking value of his contract, now he's about to get paid, but his contract and what he brings to the table, yeah, it is super impactful what he brings to this team. But we're talking about an all-NBA, multi-all-star MVP conversation, Jason Tatum. He's not more impactful than that guy.
Impactful? I mean, but there is something to be said for both sides, what he does.
I understand what he's saying, his versatility, his role.
He's not saying he's a better player.
No, it's not. He's not saying that at all. So, but no, I think if you take impact, it means a lot of different things. I think the way he plays defense, the way his versatility, but Jason Tatum's scoring ability, his offensive versatility, that is more impactful. But I understand what he's saying, but no, I'm not buying it. I'm taking Tatum 10 times out of 10, and I think he is too. I think he's just trying to credit Derek White.
Which I like.
Yeah.
I like that he's doing that. Lou, you're next. Carmelo says he's currently working on getting involved in NBA ownership. The idea of current and former stars having some ownership in some of these teams, it's a great idea, right? I'm
buying it. I love that. I love the idea of guys getting involved in decision-making in some capacity when it comes to the future of the NBA, and especially guys that have been as impactful as a Carmelo Anthony and what he's been able to do. So I think that insight has value when it comes to NBA ownership groups. So I'm buying that.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily translate to a great organization, but I do like the idea of it.
Well, when you get a player too, like me or Lou, we know what a player wants. We know what a player needs. We know to shorten the shit.
You know
what I mean? We know the ins and outs. I don't like how Carmelo's shoulder is right there.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are hanging.
I thought it was yours.
Let me see.
I'm like, back up. We know what it takes. We know the organization. We know what it takes to win. We know what players want, what players need. So I love this. I think this is a great idea. I think more players should get involved and do this.
It'd be fun.
A lot of these owners are super successful businessmen, wealthy as shit, but they don't know the NBA like players do.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to be able to be a part of that. Tracy McGrady said, Steph Curry has not cracked my top 10 yet. To me, if one of your guys missing, you can't make the playoffs, I can't put you in my top 5 or top 10, Chandler. You buying that's a valid reason?
Nope.
Oh,
I
right.
think he's the best point guard of all time. I think he's top 10 of all time. I think this career he's done, he's a generational talent. He's the best shooter of all time. Why are you doing that?
I'm just checking things out.
My ADD is through the roof.
It's real bad today. It's like you're getting medicated.
No, I think this is cappuccino, Lou. I think he is top 10 for sure. You don't think he's top 10?
I definitely think he's top. I'm shaking my head like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't know where these guys are getting.
But to his credit, he said his top 10. That's fine.
That's fair.
That's your opinion.
That is fair.
But no, he is remarkable, and it's hard. I don't know how you keep this guy out of the top.
I don't know either, honestly. Lou, reports are saying the Sixers want a max contract player from a pool that includes Paul George, LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, and Brandon Ingram.
Doesn't everybody want a bunch?
I mean, but
it's a great wish list.
They landing anybody in that one?
I see a couple of guys that they would have an opportunity at. Paul George is probably going to be one of the guys that they can get a serious look at. Brandon Ingram, out of all the 4 that's mentioned, is probably going to be the more obvious one.
Yeah.
That can actually happen.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, so I'm buying. LeBron James, obviously not. Jimmy Butler, been there, done that with the Sixers. Not going back how that went. But I can see a BI with a breath of fresh air to try a new start somewhere else. And PG has an opportunity to make a bunch of money. So I'm sure he'll weigh his options, but so I'm buying.
And when you have a Joel Embiid, you have a Tyrese Maxey, these guys will want to think they're that missing piece. They'll want to go and play with those guys. They know they're going to be in the hunt. They stay healthy next year in the Eastern Conference, so I think they'll get one of them.
One of them.
And you know Daryl Morey is swinging for the fences regardless.
He's on the phone now. We're going to take a quick break, come back, wrap things up here on Run It Back.
They run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.
I mean,
He'll be awake.
we're going to spend the last 10 seconds trying to figure out what time it is in Australia. We have 9 seconds. Anybody want to say anything?
I'm trying to figure out the time difference.
Have a good day, y'all.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
What did he just say?
Run it up, run it back, run it up.